I get my deer processed and quartered up and into the backpacks and just about ready to throw the backpacks on and haul it down to the car. And he comes walking back over the hill. It's like
Yeah.
an hour later.
What'd
And
you
I
see?
said, "Well, what are you doing?" He says, "We're tagged out."
Sweet. And
Oh crap! We got two of them to do.
we're all tagged out. You got him?
Just to see that progression of
Nice.
him from the first time
No,
he had ever hunted to that, where he could go out on his own and fill his own tag
Nicely done.
and become a hunter himself was great. It was awesome. We got a video of that on our YouTube channel. That whole sequence of events, and it was a great video. Um, but just to watch them grow through the whole process and learn, and sometimes you can see their wheels just cranking in their mind of the things that they're learning and understanding. And oh man, now I understand why Dad was teaching me this. It makes sense now, and it's just great.
Oh, that's awesome. And for me, I have two younger kids. My oldest she'll be 4 next month, so I got a few years before I could actually take her hunting. But whenever chance we get, we try to take her outdoors and explore, anything, a mountain, a trail. We were just in about an hour north of where we live here in Idaho Falls. There's kind of like a destination town. It's called Island Park. It's where people have a bunch of other cabins. And we just met some friends up there and spent the night there. It was great. Anything I can do to get my children out in the outdoors is always a win for us, even when they're even when they're young.
Yeah, you would be surprised on the things they pick up on.
Mm-hmm.
I remember back a few years ago, my daughter's 9 now, almost 10. So it had been 4 or 5 years ago. I come home from work, and of course the older boys are watching hunting videos on YouTube, on the TV, and I see my 4 or 5-year-old daughter walking through the house, bugling at the top of her lungs. So just because they're little doesn't mean they're not learning and picking up on the things that you're talking about and watching and things like that. But man, I wish I could have her cow call that she had at that time at 4 or 5 years old, because man, it was spot on.
That's great.
Yep.
So just a quick transition here. You talked a little bit a minute ago about scouting for areas, and so obviously this time of year is where you want to start putting down trail cameras, start looking for habitat. What advice or what tips would you give a hunter like me who's just starting out and like, this will be my first really scouting summer? I'm actually going to go. Aaron and I are trying to plan a scouting trip to the zone that we'll be hunting. So what tips and advice would you offer to me?
Okay. One tip I absolutely love is, because I sit behind a desk all day at work.
Hey, so do we.
Hey, yeah, nice. There's two things that I use all the time. I use Google Earth and I use OnX Maps, and they're both. I can do it right from my desk at work. I can do it from my phone. I can do it from a tablet. But when I can't get out into the hills, something I do use a lot of, looking for new terrain, looking for areas. For me, I'm not a road hunter. I'm not a guy that can just drive up and down the roads and call it hunting. I like to get away from cars and get away from people as much as I can. But that being said, I love running into people on the mountain and talking to them and getting to know them. I love that too. So, but if I can get away from the roads, it's great. So I look for chunks of ground on my maps that are away from roads. Find a good trailhead that'll take you into the backcountry a mile or so, that there's not other roads around. The OnX Maps is one of our sponsors, one of our partners. They have a great app. They've got layers that you can put on your maps. my son had we had a very first turkey tag this year for my 12-year-old or 14-year-old son. And so we'd never done turkeys before, something we'd never hunted before. And so we were trying to learn as much as we could about turkeys. Well, in the state of Utah, Onyx Maps had a layer that you could click on and turn on that would show you turkey habitat. And so you could go onto the map and look around and say, okay, well, they're showing that this is turkey habitat, this over here is turkey habitat. And so you could focus your efforts on those areas instead of having to go out and find your areas with your feet.
Right.
So it narrowed your search down really fast. They have layers like recent burns. That's a layer you can click on. It'll bring up areas where fires have been recently.
Interesting.
And wildlife loves those areas after the fire's gone through, a year or so later, when that green grass starts coming back up, and that new growth starts coming back up through those fires. Mule deer, elk, they love these old burn areas. And so that's an area you can narrow down really quick to where some old fires might have been in the recent past, and get into these areas and start looking. So I do a lot of computer work to narrow down areas. And then once you get your feet on the ground, once you've found some areas on your computer or on your phone or just in talking to people in general, there's a lot of guys out there that will help young hunters, youth, and new guys that are coming into this sport. They'll help them. We love to help people, and we can give you information. So as many people as you can talk to is another great avenue to narrow some stuff down.
That's what we're doing right now.
Exactly. I don't know much about Idaho, but I'd help you if I did.
Habitat's pretty much the same elements of habitat, obviously, are the same.
Yep, a lot of that. There's in our area here. Speaking of habitat, we have two completely different types of habitat. An hour south we're in the desert. An hour north we're in 10,000 foot elevation. So it's completely different habitat, and the way you hunt it is different. But you can find animals in those areas if you know what you're looking for, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so to learn an area, talk to people. It's a great resource if you can talk to. We have one area that we hunt, and there's always sheep in there, lambs, baba white sheep,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's always sheep in there, and there's always a sheep herder that goes along with them. We know a sheep herder up on the mountain. We talk to him all the time, and say, hey, what have you seen while you've been out here? And so just talking to people, you talk to ranchers that are out tending their cows and things like that. A lot of them will give you information and talk with you and let you know where to look and things like that. So that's another good piece of advice, to just talk to people, a lot of people. Once you get out on the mountain, you've narrowed your search down a little bit to an area you think might be good. My preference, some other guys do other things. My preference is get as high as possible and find a place that you can glass, and just glass and glass and glass. Early mornings, evenings, when the deer and the animals, the elk, are moving, just watch them, see which way they go. They're going to have bedding areas. You catch them out on the slopes in the morning in the high alpines. You catch them out on the slopes, they're going to go to a bed somewhere. Where is that? Watch where they head every morning. Then kind of general direction of their beds, and you can watch them go to their beds, and you can watch them at times, if you're in the right location, you can actually watch them bed down, and you'll see, if you watch them enough, that big buck may go into that same bed 3 days, 4 days out of the week. You might hit that same bed. Then of course, around the 10 o'clock hour, somewhere in there, 9:30, 10 o'clock, when the sun starts to get up and get a little hotter, you'll see them get up and move. They'll move around the tree, or they'll move over the draw just a little bit further into more shade. So you can see where they move to a secondary bed, and you just watch that. And then in the evenings, of course, you watch for them. Where are they coming out of? They're bedding here. Where are they going? Are they going to water first, or are they going to grab a bite to eat before they go to the water? Where do they go out of their beds? These are really good spots to be watching where they're coming from and where they're going to, so that you can ambush them. Get between those two spots and find a good spot to sit and wait and ambush them. So that's my biggest thing. I love to get up high in glass.
Right.
And just spend time watching them and see their habits and what they're doing. Another thing that helps a lot is trail cams. If you can get some trail cams and set some trail cams, if you get up high and you're glassing them and you're seeing they're going to a water, or there's a water because you've looked at maps, there's a water in the area, and you go to that water, you see tracks around it, set up a trail cam so that you can see what time they're hitting that water. Are they hitting that water first thing in the morning after they get up out of their beds? Or are they hitting it midday when they switch from their primary bedding area to a secondary bedding area? Are they passing that water and hitting it then? So a trail cam can give you a ton of information as well about their movements.
Right.
So those are some of the easy, quick tactics that we use just to get a general knowledge of where animals are and their habits. Of course, it is hunting, and sometimes things get thrown completely out of whack.
Oh, yeah.
But at least you have a general knowledge and an area and places you can go from at that point.
Right.
Well, I think that's what helps you on your hunt is when things go crazy. If you've scouted an area, you've scouted it probably not just from one point of view. You've looked at the area in several different angles, different points of view. And so when things go crazy, you have backup plans. And that's where success comes from. Is it's not just pack up and go home. It's okay, this is how we play it now. And it's a continual learning experience of the area.
Correct. Yeah, you can sit there up on a high glassing point, midsummer, watching these animals, and see somebody come in that's walking around and bump them. And where do they go when they're bumped? Do they go down to the bottom of that draw into that terrible, nasty canyon? Do they go higher onto the mountain underneath the cliff? And you can watch them and you can see what they do as a secondary option when they're bumped and pushed. So it gives you an idea of what you can do to mitigate that if that happens in real time.
Right.
Yeah.
So Geoff, I've been watching your Instagram a lot lately, and you post a lot about being hunt ready. Give us a quick overview. Is because if I did my research correctly, this is also a nutritional supplement company. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
So could you give us a background and story about them?
Yeah. Ready Nutrients is an incredible nutritional product. They have, pre-workouts. They have protein drinks that I use regularly for meal replacements for my breakfast because I'm into the office by 7 o'clock every morning, and I don't have time to make myself breakfast at home. So I get to the office and I make up a protein shake and use it for my breakfast. They've got post workouts that help you rehydrate and recover from your workouts. Just a great line of nutritional products. The man behind it, his name is Donnie Howe, and we ran into Donnie a year or so ago, and he is just a top-notch, first-class guy. Donnie is, I can't say enough about Donnie. But this whole hashtag Hunt Ready came, it started, about 3 weeks ago when I looked at my email from the state of Utah, and it showed that I had had drawn a once in a lifetime moose tag for the state of Utah.
No way, really?
Yeah, so I am moose hunting this year.
Oh man.
And super, super excited that I've decided, this is once in a lifetime. You won't ever get this chance in Utah again through the draw.
Right.
You might be able to purchase a tag off of something, but this is your one chance. So you had better be ready for this. And so I went to Donnie, Ready Nutrients, and said, let's put together a contest. Let's promote this, Hunt Ready, and let's just have people post up anything on their social medias. They can submit it to us through our website. We have a page on there where they can submit videos or pictures. Tag us in anything that they are doing to get themselves ready for their hunt. Saturday night, I hadn't got to the gym Saturday. I hadn't got out on the street to run Saturday. I hadn't got anything done Saturday. My friend called me and says, "Hey, can you and your boys come over and help me?" He had just recently had hip surgery, and so he was on crutches. He couldn't do anything. But he had a bunch of hay that needed to be moved.
Yes, I saw that.
Me and my boys went over and we threw over 300 hay bales for 3 hours.
That's definitely getting ready.
I tell you, that is a workout. And that's
you never knew you had.
Exactly.
Yeah, my boys love to do it. And so this Hunt Ready initiative, campaign, whatever you want to call it, is just do anything you can to get yourself ready for your hunts this coming fall. We're going to have a prize, and we're going to give this prize out at the end of the time frame, which will be just before the archery hunt starts in Utah, mid-August. But people can submit these pictures or videos to us to enter themselves into the contest. And at the end, Ready Nutrients has come up with a couple great prize packages, including their nutritional stuff for the winners. We haven't exactly decided how we're going to select the winners. We may do some kind of little drawing, or Ready Nutrients will be involved in selecting the winner as well. So it's a great thing, and it's just to get people out there and get them active and getting involved and getting hunt ready. I've said on a couple of the posts that if your work permits, and I'm lucky enough that mine does, I get down and do 25 push-ups every hour on the hour.
Oh, wow.
So, it's just anything I can do to get myself hunt ready. This morning, I have a little porch outside my front door. That's about 1.5 feet, 2 foot tall porch. And I threw my backpack on with about 25 pounds of weight, and I just did step-ups for a half hour.
Right.
And that was a great workout. So anything you can do to get hunt ready, submit it to us on our webpage, tag us in your post, and you'll be entered into it. It's pretty awesome.
So the post that I had a couple days ago, that's entered in the contest?
Yes, that'll be entered in the contest.
I had no idea.
You are getting hunt ready by shooting your bow.
Yeah, I had no idea. I thought I'd throw you guys a shout out. So I got a nice contest entry. Can you do as many entries as you want?
You can. You can do as many entries as you want. If you want to submit something every day, you can do that.
Great.
So it's exciting. We're going to have a lot of participation, and we hope people enjoy it and just get out there and get involved and get ready for their hunts.
Good deal.
And if you haven't checked into Ready Nutrients, you need to check it out. I'm down almost 17 pounds. I'm down 3 pounds since 2.5 weeks ago when I started this Hunt Ready thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down 2.5 pounds, almost 3 pounds in that time frame. I am down lighter right now. I'll post it up on social media here later today, but I checked on the scale this morning, and I tipped the scale at 227.
Oh, wow.
that's the lightest I've been in probably 10, 11, 12 years.
Well, great.
So I'm feeling great.
I'm actually looking it up right now.
I haven't posted it yet.
Well, I'm just looking up Ready Nutrition because now I'm interested.
Ready Nutrients.
Yeah.
It's I think it's www.liveready.com.
Okay.
And they're based out of Utah, right?
They are based out of northern Utah. Yep. Brigham City, I believe, somewhere right up in that area. But yeah, they've got some great products. They've got a product called Melt, and it's a fat burner. And they've got one. It's called Eruption. It's a testosterone builder. If you get that one, don't tell your wife you're getting it. It's a great product. I've been taking it for a while, and I've got more energy now than I've had in a long time.
Great, good deal.
So we've got some really wonderful sponsors that they're just great companies. As we started,
go ahead and do a shout out to all of them if you'd like.
Okay, our first ever sponsor was Horn Hunter Backpacks. If you haven't checked into Horn Hunter Backpacks, you've got to check them out. I've had all kinds of backpacks on my back through my years of hunting, from the $50 Walmart backpack to I've wore Everly stock, I've wore Badlands. I've had all kinds of different backpacks, and this Horn Hunter backpacks are by far the best backpacks I've ever had on.
That's actually what I have, and I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
So very versatile and just an awesome pack. But not only is it a great pack, but the company. That's one thing that we really look at. They may have a great product, but if it's not a good company and good people, I don't want to be involved with it.
Right.
And so the people at Horn Hunter are just great people. As likewise, like Reddy, Donnie is just a top-notch guy. So Horn Hunter backpacks, King's Camo. We love King's Camo, and the guys there at King's, Ryan Faust, is just a great friend, and he is just a great guy. We have Phone Scope. We have a lot of partners actually. There's some that are more involved than others. We have a partnership with Easton Arrows. We have a partnership with Onyx, which we talked about their mapping system.
Right.
Great product there. We have a partnership with Ultimate Predator. If you haven't looked at Ultimate Predator, that is definitely one you need to look at. They have some incredible decoys.
Decoys.
That attach right to the front of your bow. Through the bow, you see through the decoy at your prey, and you can shoot. It has a gap right in the front where you.
I think I've seen the turkey ones.
Yeah, they've got turkeys, they've got elk, they've got mule deer, they've got. I've even seen a mountain goat. They've got all kinds of great decoys. They also have one that's called the U-Pack, which is the Ultimate Predator Adventure Cam. It's a great little action cam, much like a GoPro, but the lens has been reformatted for hunters. It's a lot closer. You notice on GoPro, it's kind of a way off distance type.
Yeah, it's more of like a what's it called? A fisheye lens. It's more of a smaller fisheye.
The lens on these adventure cams have been reformatted, and it's a much better lens for hunters. So they got a great adventure cam that you need to check out. So we have got some extremely good partners that we just love working with, and like I said, the companies are as good, if not better, than their products. And so, yeah, you can check out all of our sponsors on our webpage, and we have links to their pages, and we're really excited and fortunate to work with them.
Well, great.
That's awesome.
Well, Geoff, I appreciate you coming on today. If you don't mind, go ahead and give out your social media, where people can find you on social media.
Cool. Yeah, you can find us on social media on most every platform: YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, like I said, Snapchat. Um, and in most places, it's just Nimrod Outdoors.
Perfect.
It's pretty easy to find us. Our webpage is very easy. It is www.beanimrod.com.
I like it.
Yeah, if you've noticed the logo on our page and everywhere, if you look at it close, you can see that it is a mix between a mule deer on the top end and an elk on the front end. And as we were developing that logo, we wanted to use the worldly connotation of Nimrod, all screwed up. So we combined the two, an elk and a deer, into one set of antlers, and that's how our logo developed. So,
well, perfect.
That's awesome.
All right, Geoff, thank you very much for joining us today. We will continue to follow you in your adventures at Nimrod Outdoors. We love to hear about your moose hunt later in this in the fall after hopefully a successful hunt. So,
yeah,
I'd love to reconnect with you then.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we're going to be posting up all of our outdoor adventures leading up to and including that moose hunt, everything that we're doing to get ready for it, our scouting, everything that is involved with that. And then on the moose hunt, we're hoping to have, maybe a little series of 4 or 5 video series of the moose hunt itself.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, it's good to meet you, Geoff.
You too as well. It was wonderful to chat with you. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
All right, Geoff. Good luck, and be safe out there.
All right, you too.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, there you go. That was a podcast that we just recorded with the Novice Hunter. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm hoping I can overlay the audio from the recording so that you can hear both sides of the conversation. Great podcast. Go on to Anchor podcast type thing, and look up the Novice Hunter, and you will be able to listen to the podcast that we just recorded. So, very good, guys. Thanks for your support. We totally appreciate it. Talk to you later.